Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout, watch a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling, and fucking Ryu Mizunami's going all the way, boys.
Yep, as today we reached the fantastic conclusion to our AEW Women's Eliminator Tournament storyline, as we reach Nyla Rose versus Ryu Mizunami. The winner will face Hikaru Shida at Revolution 2021 for the AEW Women's Championship.
This is so fucking nuts. I cannot believe that my two faves are going at it. I can't. The dream booking. She is prime tonight. Let me tell you, folks. We got two big girls. One very nice, the other very evil, and together they will create, I'm sure,
Danhausen
art. Yes, it is the perfect Danhausen pair, if you will. That's an academic term for all you out there. Is when you got one is very nice and one is very evil. That is what is known in academic circles as a Danhausen pairing. Fun fact for you.
It's Danhausian.
A Danhausen. This is quite yes. It's quite Danhausian of them to pair up Ryu Mizunami and Nyla Rose.
Yes, how very Danhausian of them.
But you have to understand that the dichotomy is quite important to show for the sake of dramatic tension, of course. The very nice and the very evil, this sort of yin and yang, if you will, the black and the white, much like on the face of Danhausen himself, is a proud theatrical tradition.
I don't subscribe to the school of Danhausian thought, and in this essay, I will explain.
What alternate schools would there be, Austin?
I didn't think far enough into the joke for that, so I'm going to ask that you don't ask me that.
Oof. Unfortunate. All right. Well, brilliant literary analysis aside, I hear we also have some extra treats on the docket, just as we did last time.
We do. It's just like this one episode of Dynamite and then Revolution. So, there's not really necessarily enough here for a full episode of content. So we are going to kind of do a couple extra weeks after Revolution to clear up some hanging threads coming out of the tournament. I think I mentioned right kind of the beginning of this that Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker was one of the big storylines. Yes.
Oh my God, I forgot.
So we are going to be kind of covering the culmination of that in their now famous Lights Out match.
Yes.
From March 17th, 2021.
Yes, I forgot that's the other thing we're doing. I'm excited again. Oh boy!
Yep.
Oh, I'll get to fucking Leo meme when I see the shot of Britt's face all covered in blood.
Yep, absolutely. So if you would like to watch along with us on that, you're kind of shit out of luck. I'm going to be honest with you on this one this time, guys. As most of what we're going to be watching is AEW Dynamite. And as we've kind of talked about as part of this arc is that basically in America, AEW has no streaming service partner. There's not really any way to, find these old episodes of Dynamite to watch. Same for the pay-per-views as well. I mean, if you want to go order the DVD of AEW Revolution 2021, I'm pretty sure that's an option. But in terms of digital media, you're kind of fucked. And there used to be a workaround that Fight TV, if you used a VPN to make yourself international, you could still access that content through the AEW Plus monthly subscription service to Fight TV. Unfortunately, Fight TV in their most recent app update has started to really clamp down on this loophole. If you try to purchase or access AEW content American on Fight TV with a VPN on your browser, it will stop you because it will detect VPN and not allow you to purchase anything. So,
That's
okay,
lame.
if you go on the mobile app, though, if you have a VPN on your mobile app, it will detect the VPN and will not let you access the app at all.
What the fuck?
Pretty much the only way that you can access any of that stuff now is if your account has been kind of grandfathered in. My AEW Plus subscription actually ran out about a month ago, and they haven't kicked me off yet. So that could happen any day now. But other than that, I cannot re-up that subscription or purchase any more pay-per-views from AEW through Fight TV because they have exclusivity with Bleacher Report for that content. I will say is we will be watching one match from the AEW Buy-In Revolution Buy-In. That is the name of their pre-shows, and those are free on YouTube. So you know what? One match, you can get that one.
The dedication it takes sometimes to be a fan of this podcast, truly astounding.
Yeah, so if you didn't already pick up AEW Plus, well, that's not happening. About that.
Oof. Oofa doofa. Unfortunate.
So, we'll see you guys in the back half for when we talk about kind of the end of the AEW Women's Eliminator Tournament and a little bit of extra stuff afterwards.
Absolutely.
And we are back. We have just finished several episodes of AEW Dynamite Women's content.
Woo!
But we have finished the Women's Eliminator Tournament.
Yes! This arc sadly has come to a conclusion, but oh man, what a fun goddamn time it was. And we got some little bonuses too that were quite nice.
Yeah, it was. I feel like this series of episodes managed to be emblematic of a lot of things that people think about the AEW Women's division overall.
True.
And things like the matches are great, the storylines don't get enough time, and somehow it always ends up being about Britt Baker.
True! Every fucking time it comes back around to her. Tony Khan, other women exist.
Tony Khan says, bet?
Bet.
Tony Khan says, oh, you mean like Jade Cargill?
You mean like Jade Cargill? Yeah. Yes, Tony.
Other women exist.
Other women exist. Nah, impossible. Impossible. Those that doesn't. And fucking Tony Schiavone's in the background going, you know, I actually don't think it's that much of a problem that Britt Baker gets this much TV time. She's my buddy, and oh god, I wonder if like Tony Khan is just like paying, or Tony Schiavone's paying Tony Khan money under the table, just be like, listen, just keep giving her time, all right? Keep fucking giving her time, or else I end you.
Yeah, I know I'm a billionaire, but I'll take it.
I'll take it. I want more money. Shane's not here.
Shane's not
here, and the only thing that can fill the void that leaves is more money.
Yep. All right. Let's just get moving on. Let's just move on from here.
Okay. Anyway, dear Lord. But yes, shockingly, indeed, other women do exist, as is evidenced by our. Goddamn, such a good line. As is evidenced by our first matchup of my absolute dream come true: Nyla Rose versus Ryu Mizunami. Oh boy!
On the March 3rd episode of Dynamite, we have the finals of the Eliminator tournament.
Yes.
Immediately, Nyla Rose is not impressed with Ryu's weird shit.
Yeah, no. Ryu's doing all of her pops, and Nyla's just in the corner, literally with this kind of like, what the fuck face. Nyla, who herself has, her own distinct pops, clearly unimpressed with just other people having pops. I suppose. I don't know. Maybe Ryu's too extra for her. I do appreciate the winner of Ryu v Nyla gets a nice little trophy.
Yeah, they got a cute little trophy.
Got a little
for the winner. Shida is there to watch.
Shida's like standing off to the side of it, and like the way this is set up is like this is at Daly's place, right? So
Yes.
Like there's the entrance ramp that leads fucking directly to the ring with no space in between, and then like down to one side of the entrance ramp, like because the entrance ramp and the ring are elevated down on like the ground level, off like right in the corner of like one of the entrance ramp sides is the trophy, and next to it is Shida, and I'm just like, Shida, how are you watching from that angle? You're like standing fucking
it's
like
a very awkward angle to be watching the match.
Yeah, she's gotta like goddamn look over the trophy or something. But I guess Shida watching wrestling weird is just a recurring theme. Anyway.
So Ryu kind of starts hitting all her bits. This match as she
the taunt game is strong off the bat. Nyla gets in on a little too. She's kind of biting back. She's like, all right, this is the game you want to play. Fine, I can be a bitch too. And of course we're seeing all of this as JR so eloquently put it in restaurant quality picture in picture.
Yeah, there's a lot of we got some restaurant quality picture in picture action.
Yeah.
God
damn.
Nyla gets a lot of an advantage quick out the gate. Nyla is the bigger one between Ryu and Nyla. It feels very similar to kind of how the Aja Kong match started, except Nyla is a lot less serious.
Yeah, Nyla's a lot less serious. Nyla's also a lot less sluggish than Aja Kong is. Like Nyla moves faster, and we now see like Ryu being like, "Oh, I faced down an enemy like this before. Here's how you take her down," and has a much easier time with Nyla than she did taking down Aja, which is super cool. And Nyla just kind of seems to be keeping her MO that she does through every match, which is I'm the fucking beast and I'm gonna fucking kill you. Which I gotta say, Nyla showing that arrogance here that, as we've established, does not fit well with facing off against Ryu Mizunami.
Does not bode well. Does not bode well at all.
Yeah.
But at one point, Nyla had Ryu pinned down, and I wrote that Vicky screeching at decibels only understandable by dogs.
Yeah, I just have I love Vicky at ringside. That's a much funnier way to put it. I've remarked this before. How Vicky Guerrero still has a voice in the year of our Lord 2022 is astounding to me. I at this point I'm wondering, has she got genetic augmentation? Is she just an alien, interdimensional being?
Guerreros are just built different.
Guerreros. She's not even a bloodline Guerrero, though. Does like marrying into the family give you some kind of like fucking divine power? Like you put the wedding ring on?
I think so. That makes sense.
You put the wedding ring on, all of a sudden she's like fucking floating into the sky, and like some spirit of the beyond is like, Vicky Guerrero, I now bestow upon you the gift of the eternal shriek.
Yeah, that all checks out to me. This is why Vicky Guerrero should have been in Lucha Underground, so that we could canonize that.
I would have loved to see Vicky Guerrero show up in like full ass like Maleficent garb, like she's just an evil wizardess in witch, whatever, in this world.
I don't know. She could be a warlock. Who knows?
She could be. She could be a warlock. I want to know what her relationship is to all of Mexico relative to Chavo. Of like, is she also running from the entirety of Mexico? Is she safe from the entirety of Mexico? Is she actively on the side of the entirety of Mexico? Who's to say?
Important questions we can unfortunately not answer.
It's true. I will never know the answer.
Yeah, so during the picture-in-picture, Nyla Rose has Ryu Mizunami knocked down over by the barricade, and she like lifts up Ryu's body and is like, "Hi, I'm Ryu Mizunami."
Yeah, I know. Hi, America. What the? So I see Nyla Rose is considering a career in not puppetry, the other one. Ventriloquism. Considering a career in ventriloquism. Clearly she's been going to the Triple H School of Voice Throwing. It's going great.
Yeah, at one point, Nyla then walks over to Hikaru Shida and just starts jaw-jacking at her.
Well, yeah. And she was just like,
focus.
Okay, whatever.
She should have probably focused more, because this eventually Nyla sets up for a top rope swanton bomb that would have been very owie, much ouch.
Very death for Ryu Mizunami.
But Ryu got out of the way, and that was kind of Ryu's big opportunity to really get back into the match and start fighting back.
Yeah, and we see here that Ryu Mizunami is I guess we kind of saw this in the Aja Kong match, but she is a strong girl. There's a couple times she lifts Nyla clean the fuck over herself, which is insane, because Ryu Mizunami's big, but
Nyla's bigger.
And Ryu at a couple points, I forget the first move she does, but it almost read a little like a GTS, just kind of minus the knee hit. But it's kind of the same, like over the shoulder, over the head to the side.
I think it's like a Death Valley. It was either a Death Valley driver or an air raid crash, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, something like that. And then she fucking suplexes Nyla at one point.
Yeah, the exploder suplex near the end of the match.
Which is how? And it didn't look like Nyla was giving her all that much help on those, which is goddamn nuts. Why is this woman so strong? I hope I'm never on her bad side.
I made a note. At one point, Ryu knocks Nyla out of the ring. She does the top rope knee leg drop spot to Nyla to the outside, the same way she beat Aja Kong with it.
Yeah.
And Nyla Rose is about to do a flare flop, which we don't really know what that means, is obviously popularized by Ric Flair, but it's where you like dangle, or you like stand there and like wobble around for a minute and then you fall over comedically.
True.
And the camera cut away before Nyla fell.
No, look, we get another one later. It's okay. They made up for it at one point. Yeah, no, the Flair flop, the Randy Orton flop, now the Nyla Rose flop. It's proud tradition.
But then Ryu hits the top. Wrong one. Is that eventually Nyla is able to fight back and gets Ryu on the ropes for the top rope knee drop, and Ryu kicks out of it. It's freaking insane.
There are a few near falls for this one on Ryu's part that I was like on the edge of my seat, and somehow she still got the hell out of it. Again, Ryu Mizunami, strong girl. I mean, this kind of shocker of all shockers has been Ryu Mizunami's story of like rising to the top.
Yeah, she's just been getting better and better every match, and coming in on top because she hits Nyla Rose with a quick succession of a German suplex, a Roman Reigns-esque spear, the big dog, Ryu Mizunami, and then a top rope leg drop onto Nyla Rose for the dub. David lost his mind.
Dude, this whole tournament arc has been wild for me. Because I fucking fell in love with Ryu Mizunami in the first match, and I was like, okay, Maki Ito feels like the more popular wrestler. Maki Ito's gonna win this. No,
but
Ryu
Maki
won.
Ito never wins anything.
Maki Ito is never allowed to win anything. So Ryu won. I was like, okay, cool. Then I saw she was going up against Aja Kong, and I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, Aja Kong's definitely gonna kick her ass, right? No, Ryu won that too. Okay, she's going up against fucking magical girl Yuka Sakazaki. Get your ayayay's ready. Yuka tends to be pretty dominant, so I don't know if this one's in the card for Ryu. No, she won that too. She's going on to the finals. Fuck, okay, but Nyla's definitely gonna win.
Former
right?
champion.
Like they're not former champion, homegrown star versus Ryu Mizunami, who's been on TV, like AEW TV once before.
She's Japanese guest star.
There's no Ryu Mizunami wins this too. Ryu Mizunami went from like, in my mind, this like what I perceive to be kind of just like, you know, a talented mid-carder that I found really charismatic, to the goddamn winner of this tournament bracket, which is insane to me. I did not expect that, and I can't believe that, like, whenever I hand pick like champions for any sort of competition ever, they're always like the charming mid-carder or whatever the equivalent of a mid-carder is in whatever competition, who never comes out on top, but everyone kind of is like, yeah, they're cool. But like Ryu Mizunami rose to the goddamn top, and I could not believe it. This actually kind of got to be fully the story of Ryu Mizunami's rise to the top, and we see later that there's good reason for that, which is dope. But holy shit, I did not see this coming.
Yeah, I enjoyed being able to not tell you about this one when I saw how super into Ryu Mizunami you got from the very first episode. I was like, well, isn't that nice?
Isn't that dandy? Yeah, for once you got to hold your tongue about something that I would end up like enjoying.
I'm capable of doing that.
Yeah, not just sitting there being like, your downfall is coming soon.
Yes, so after the match, Hikaru Shida comes into the ring to present the trophy. And then
I have to take note. She presents the trophy to Ryu, and like Ryu sets it down like facing one way, and then she stops for a second, and then fucking turns it so that like the like plating and everything is.
She
like,
understands important. She knows where the camera is. She's got the instinct.
She was just like, oh, gotta make sure it's the right side. There we are. I love her.
So they go to shake hands, and then they decide it's going to be an excuse to start throwing elbows.
Indeed. I mean, you can't. Why be respectful when you can be elbowful, as it were?
That's very true. That's definitely a thing that people say.
I hear people say that. I say that all the damn time. And if you don't say it, well, then you're just a weirdo.
So they go back and forth this exchange, and Shida knocks Ryu down to end the exchange, and it ends with Shida, standing tall with the title and Ryu looking up at her.
Oh boy, there's some heat. It's a coming. Yeah, no. That I was kind of surprised. I thought for a second they were turning Ryu heel, but it's almost like friendly exchange of elbows a tiny bit.
As friendly as that can be, really.
They're just joshing, or I guess Joshiing.
Hey!
Pew 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 pew.
Yes, Nyla and Ryu, really good. Hard hitting match.
Everything I hoped it would be and more.
Big women going at it. Hoss fighting.
My mom and my fun aunt. Absolutely. You'll love to see it.
So we get to the next. We cut on over to Revolution. First, the buy-in match, which was originally set to be Dr. Britt Baker and Rebel, not Reba, versus Thunder Rosa and Riho. However, the Rebel has been injured, allegedly.
To date our show once more, this has been a time. This past week has been a time for great scandals in wrestling. Jeff Hardy gets a DUI. Vince McMahon steps down as CEO of WWE after hush money, NDA, sex relationship allegations with him and Laurinaitis. But let us not forget the greatest of all scandals in the AEW world, which is whether or not Britt Baker has the right to write a doctor's note for Rebel. Now, if you are on the right side of history, like I am, and like Tony Schiavone is, you will know that Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, does in fact have doctor in her title. But you put a note on that letterhead, that is by default a doctor's note. I rest my case.
She is a dentist.
She's a doctor of dental medicine.
She can't diagnose a knee injury.
She's allegedly a doctor. And we didn't say it had to be a specific kind of doctor's note. We just said it had to be a doctor's note. She is a doctor. She wrote a note. That is a doctor's note. I think
I have to put myself on the correct side of history with the other Tony Khan, who said, no, that doesn't work. So Britt Baker had to get the Jacksonville Jaguars football doctor to confirm her diagnosis.
Next time I'm sick and I have to get out of work, I want to find like someone with a doctorate in history or some shit to like write me a note and be like, well, here's my doctor's note.
So I also keep saying allegedly on this Rebel thing because commentary makes note of it. And also Rebel just does a lot of things that when she's not limping around, that it feels like she's faking it as a joke. I don't remember how hurt she really was, but it really reads like she's faking an injury.
So she was injured out of kayfabe, yes?
I think she was, and then she just kind of stayed on crutches for like 6 months.
And then they decided to play it that it was heel shenanigans in kayfabe, just because that's fucking what Britt and the posse do. That's insanely funny.
Yeah, so Britt announces she found a whole new tag team partner, and who could it be but the cutest in the world, Ito-chan, Maki Ito!
Baby! Yeah, I remember too. For the fucking Owen Hart Eliminator tournament, they said something about like Britt and Ito had paired together before. I didn't realize it was on the goddamn buy-in to Revolution 21. Holy crap! Yeah, that made me so goddamn happy. Ito-chan
comes out, the crowd goes wild.
Everyone loves Ito-chan. And
I did note though that she visibly fiddles with her ear mic quite a few times. Like
she seems like she's like, come on guys, where's the goddamn tempo?
Mike.
She pulls it out like the consummate professional that she is, even when goddamn Excalibur's still trying to bury her for being unpopular.
That's just part of her story, man. That she was fired for being unpopular, and now she's here doing.
So now everybody's got to just be like, "You suck. You're a wrestler now because you couldn't fucking cut it as a pop icon."
But I did make note when Rebel comes out that Excalibur says she looks questionably worse for wear.
Yeah, everyone's quipping on this. That was probably the best of the night from X. Yeah. X has got those good quips, you know.
Also noted that Tony Schiavone kept with Britt's naming and called her Reba.
Tony Khan is so fucking dentist whipped, dude. I still don't understand why he's Britt's bitch, but it's great.
Yeah, Tony Schiavone had a lot of interviews with her, segments with her, where she kind of like was bitchy to him, but also like in that fun way, I guess. And at one point, she took Tony to like get his chest waxed or something. Go to a spa.
Wait, what?
This is legit, by the way. This is legit.
Wait, what? This was not kayfabe?
No, I mean it's a kayfabe segment, but it legit happened. They legit aired this. Is them going to get the Rebel, Britt, and Tony going to the spa together, and that was basically the start of like it not really like that's when Tony started getting into it as her friend, unironically.
What the fuck?
I don't remember what episode this happened on, but I very much remember that episode because they showed Tony getting his like chest waxed on fucking air.
What the hell? Why?
Man, pandemic era wrestling was absolutely something.
What a goddamn time.
What a time to be a fan.
Supposed to be closed, or I guess it might have been by the time they reopened, but fucking still. What in the world? This motherfucker Tony Schiavone gets his chest waxed and he's like, yep, we're buddies now. And somehow Adam Cole is very jealous of this.
Yeah, Adam Cole, not seen here because he is still in NXT at this point.
He's still in NXT.
He is absolutely seething. Make no mistake about it.
He's like, that should have been my chest getting waxed, baby. Cope and seethe, Adam. Cope and seethe. Anyway, but yeah. So we get in ring and it's Thunder and Rio versus Britt and Ito. And I mean, what a goddamn good matchup, because of course it is. I forget who starts. Is it Britt and Rio to start?
Yeah, it is because they Britt and Rio get a start because they end up tagging in to do the Thunder Maki stuff, and they talk about how Thunder and Maki have history in Stardom, where Thunder Rosa beat Maki Ito for the Princess Championship.
That's so fucking funny.
Oh no, the International Princess Championship. That's the secondary title of Tokyo Joshi Pro. The main one is Princess of Princess. But...
what a queen, or I guess princess on Thunder Rosa's side.
Get to that. Yeah, as I mentioned to David while we were watching, one of the more famous Maki Ito clips before she became like a super meme was Thunder Rosa was trash talking her in a promo. I don't remember if she was speaking in English or Spanish, but whatever it was, at some point Maki Ito interrupts her and is like, "What are you saying? I am Japanese."
This is before she became a super meme?
Yeah, she wasn't like hip memes that the rest, only the real ones knew.
She was an indie meme at the time.
She was an indie meme, not a meme that everybody knows.
Well, now all hail the Queen of the Sims.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Thunder and Ito are kind of perfect opponents for each other. They have both this extremely performative persona in ring. They're both very over the top. They're both quite loud. They're both very emotive. And they make and I mean work wise too. They both move fast and are hard hitters. And they fit very well together. There was this great spot where like Maki Ito does like the fake crying spot on Thunder, and instead of Thunder getting all yeah, and instead of Thunder Rosa getting all sympathetic, she just starts goddamn like berating Maki Ito. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Stop doing that!" But Maki Ito, like, that still manages to like be enough of a distraction for Thunder Rosa's own self that Maki still would do the like foot squish bit on her.
Yeah, Maki does all of her hits on Thunder.
She's such a meme, dude.
No. But in between the memes, like it was this very like strong style Japanese style, like hit each other really hard.
Yeah, no, you can tell that Thunder's done like Joshi before, because she seems quite well equipped to face off against Maki Ito in ring, I have to say.
Yeah.
That was dope as hell.
Yeah. And then it kind of goes back. It kind of goes back and forth a little bit between different combinations of people. I didn't have a ton of notes for this part. But I did eventually when Riho, they were ganging up on her, classic heel spots where the heels gang up on one of the baby faces.
As you do.
At one point, they're like Britt and Maki are beating up Riho down in the corner, and Rebel decides to contribute by like hitting Riho with her like rally flag a little bit, rally towel.
Yeah, I had a note for that too. That made more of a sound than I thought it would. That was like a solid smack against Riho. Jesus, that sounded like it like legitimately hurt. But that was a funny spot. The Britt and the posse got to have their fucking Pittsburgh rally towels, and never considered one as a viable weapon before, but there you go.
There you be careful. Be careful, kids. It's dangerous.
Those rat tails are brutal, but yeah, you're at a goddamn Steelers game, and one of those things goes flying off, it hits someone that you've been known to kill. Brutal stuff.
Very true.
Very, very
Thunder
true.
Rosa get tags back in, and I know this happened because my next note was that Maki Ito hits the Kokeshi falling headbutt right on Thunder's stomach, right in there.
The Kokeshi actually hit. I mean, the Kokeshi always hits.
But it is not enough to put Thunder down. And then I wrote, Thunder hit a stunner, by God. Stone Cold.
Yeah, JR was going off a little bit on that.
Except he wasn't, because he's not on commentary. I added JR doesn't do commentary for pre-shows.
Fuck. I thought I heard someone yelling stunner. Okay, that might have just been you then. Never mind.
That was me pretending to be JR.
The JR was me.
The JR was me the whole time.
The JR. I will say though, Maki Ito then goes on to like try to Oh no! At one point, Rio's tapped in while Maki's still in. I think Thunder and Rio do a switch, and Maki Ito at one point tries to hit a submission move on Rio, and while sustaining that submission move, keeps up middle fingers toward Thunder Rosa while doing that submission move.
She did do that. That and a different thing that also happened is Riho was going for a knee to the face, and Maki is able to roll Riho over and get her in the Boston Crab.
Oh yeah,
it's absolutely nuts.
Riho's insane.
I think it's easy. I mean, Riho is insane, but I think it's easily lost on people who haven't watched Maki Ito. Like, you kind of look at her gimmick and her bits, and you think she's just a meme wrestler. But make no mistake, she's very talented, very athletic, and and she's gotten better. She hasn't always been like a total ring expert, but she's good. She's very good. She's a very good wrestler underneath all of her ridiculous pop idol shenanigans.
Agreed. Heavily agreed. Maki Ito has impressed me from the first as a worker. And like, you can tell she kind of wraps that work in layers of memes, and the fact that it still shines through as well as it does. I mean, that's always in a lot of ways like one of my favorite categories of wrestler, the one who can keep up the memes while still being insane. Like, it's the Orange Cassidy caliber of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you have this kind of on paper very goofy gimmick, but you legitimize yourself so much just by your own athletic prowess. Maki Ito, undoubtedly. I mean, in this match, we have just 4 of some of the best women wrestlers I've ever seen. Thunder Rosa in that incredible hard-hitting style. Britt Baker with her athleticism broadly, her heel shenanigans, her presence. Riho is horrifying. And Maki Ito, I feel like would literally rip my head off while laughing maniacally with bugged out eyes and think it's the funniest thing she ever saw, legitimately. And like the 4 of them together, Jesus Christ, no, the 4 of them together make such a wild but such a like natural feeling matchup. It's so cool watching.
No, they have a great match to kick off the show, and then it ends where Thunder is pushed into the ropes right for Rebel to take her crutch and clunk her in the head with it, and Britt pins Thunder to win the match.
Oh yeah. Which, oh man, the
that will pay off. That will be a plot. That was a plot thread tonight. Is the crutch spot.
The crutch spot. Yeah, like fucking crutch spots from Rebel. I wonder if in kayfabe this is all just a ploy to give Rebel like a legal free-handed weapon off to the side.
Something useful for her to use as a weapon.
Yeah, seriously. Look, when you don't got an audience to take crutches from, you gotta come up with your own methods.
You just gotta bring your own.
Gotta bring your own.
All right.
BYOC.
Onto the pay-per-view proper. We get Ryu Mizunami versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's Championship.
Yeah, also, first of all, Al Snow and DDP are here. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're just hanging out as audience members,
Would not have seen that coming.
I mean, DDP has wrestled in AEW. So
wait, DDP's wrestled in AEW?
Yes, in a match at Road Rager 2020, he did a tag match with Cody, or was I don't remember if it was a tag match with Cody against MJF or if he had a singles match against MJF, but I know that was what that happened. That was part of that.
Wait, holy shit. Wait,
I guess quickly.
DDP,
we're gonna do the research live right here.
DDP AEW Road Rager.
Oh, Bash at the Beach. Sorry, totally different gimmicky match.
Oh, okay. AEW.
Oh, so it was a tag match between. Let's see, Oh no, he presented. Sorry, I got that mixed up. He presented.
Okay.
He presented MJF with the Dynamite Diamond ring for the first time when he first won that. But then he had a match, a tag match with Dustin Rhodes against the Butcher and the Blade.
That's dope. That sounds like that was a cool fucking match.
Yeah, it was during that beautiful early 2020 period of AEW.
Yeah. Oh man. No
And then
pandemic.
and then something happened.
No pandemic to see here. Yeah, and Al Snow here to give everybody a head, of course. But yeah, we cut to a great little promo package about the Ryu Mizunami Hikaru Shida rivalry, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of story here that I didn't know. So first
No,
of all, there's a
they
long-standing.
thank God they let Ryu Mizunami and Hikaru Shida both cut lengthy promos in Japanese and subtitled them, which
That
is
was
great. I wish
that was awesome.
AEW would do that more often.
I really
To be
wish.
fair, I also wish WWE did that too. I wish it was a common practice across the industry.
Just letting wrestlers speak in their native tongue and have it
And then
subtitled.
subtitling them. Wrestling fans can fucking read.
Not everyone can have their own personal. Oh shit! What's his nuts? Fuck! Wait, no, I know his name.
Which one specifically? There's a lot. But...
Penta's guy.
Oh, Alex Abrahantes.
Alex Abrahantes. Shit. Yeah, not everyone can have their own personal Alex Abrahantes who's there to say, this wrestler says this. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you got to put in the work. A little bit of subtitles can go a long way.
I enjoyed when Andrade did promos that were subtitled, even if they were in English. I enjoyed that. More subtitled promos in wrestling is my point.
More subtitles everywhere. Just subtitles by default. Everyone loves them.
That sounds good to me.
Everyone loves them. Everyone wants the subtitles. They're not just for the deaf audience members anymore. Everyone's falling in love with subtitles. Just come on, all the time. Give it to
listen.
Me.
And it helps. It helps the Japanese talents or just any talent who doesn't as good fluent in English
express themselves
really
better. Eloquently.
As much as I love Hiroshi Tanahashi only saying Jericho, shut up.
That was great. I love that.
That was hilarious. It's nice getting to let Ryu and Hikaru Shida tell their own story in their own words in the language they're most comfortable with to be able to tell that story. That's very nice.
And it was a hell of a good story too. Essentially, what it was is, and I didn't know this, Ryu Mizunami was on the cusp of retiring from pro wrestling, and then she wrestled in AEW like Double or Nothing 2019.
Yep. The very first show of AEW.
The very first AEW show, she was in a trios match with or a trios tag with Shida and what was it?
Riho.
Shida and Yuka, right?
She was tagging with Shida and Riho.
And Riho, yeah. Up. And apparently,
they wrestled against. They beat Aja Kong, Emi Sakura, and Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah, and apparently that rekindled Ryu's love of wrestling and got her to stay in the industry. So all of a sudden, without now knowing that, her getting to win this tournament makes so much more sense of her kind of coming back and having a really high profile match in the place that convinced her to keep her career as it was. That's super cool. And then we cut over to Shida to find out that she and Ryu have a history. They've wrestled 3 singles matches before against each other, each one coming to a draw, which I don't know over what period of time that happened, but what an insane rivalry to build up.
Sure. And when Shida was on the come up 10 years ago, Ryu Mizunami told her straight up that, you could wait 100 years and you're never going to beat me.
You still won't beat me, which is insane.
Which is a good insult.
Good insult. And man, you best be ready to back up those words for the next 100 years, Ryu.
Yeah, so that's kind of the story of the framing of the match here. Shida, they both talk in Japanese except at the very end when Shida speaks in English. She says, "I built a bridge from Japan to the world, and I'll be the one to cross it."
That was such a goddamn good line. Holy shit. Shida's cool. Shida is so goddamn cool. She sounds cool whenever she cuts promos. She has this insanely cool presence of her. Her drip rules so goddamn
She's
hard.
so dope. I'm sad that she basically just goes and wrestles Tokyo Joshi Pro now. She's just hanging out in Japan all day now.
Sad.
Like, come back. Please, Tony Khan, book Shida. Come back.
Tony Khan, book more women. Please, God, other ones exist.
But especially Hikaru Shida.
Hikaru Shida especially exists, Tony Khan. She exists more than the rest.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, so we get into the match, and off the bat, Ryu's got to hit her usual spots. Okay, when Ryu Mizunami does retire, she needs to become a mime. Like, that's the obvious career move after this.
Dude,
she's a great mimer. Her little rope pull things.
I love the tug of war rope mime.
The tug of war rope is that's like, she's insanely good at that. Like, she makes it look so real. It's kind of what I've said this nonstop since we started this arc. Ryu Mizunami's control over her body is so insane that you can't help but admire everything she does in ring, and any kind of physical labor or physical entertainment job out there she could do like that. I could see Ryu Mizunami legitimately going into ballet and killing it. Like, anything. I think she's just that good. Yeah, so that was great to see, and Shida is like, fine, bitch, you want to play? Let's play.
Yeah, Shida takes Ryu to the outside and tries to set up a chair to do her bit where she jumps off a chair and knees someone in the face.
Yeah,
and Ryu's like, fuck that, and she grabs Shida and then chucks her in the front row.
Yeah, she topples her over the barricade into the front row. Paul Turner really needs them to take this back into the ring, you guys.
He's like, hey, guys, get back in the ring.
Shut
up, Paul Turner.
Every referee has their own personality. Paul's is, God damn it, get back into the ring right now, I swear to God.
Yep, he's not like, he's not as strict as referee Aubrey Edwards.
True. No one's as strict as referee Aubrey Edwards, but
he is a rule-abiding ref.
He's a rule-abiding ref who wants you in the goddamn ring. We're not having any count-out shenanigans here, no sir. If I have to count you out, I'll fucking kill you.
So we get back in the ring.
I can see him getting to the end of a 10 count, and then just fucking pulling out a shank, leaving the top rope and being like, this is what you get for not staying in the ring.
Violent murderer, Paul Turner.
Clearly. Hey man, that man's got the eyes of a killer, all right? He looked like he was one more get back in the ring yell away from snapping, all right? I'm telling you. Someone should look into this.
So we get back in the ring, and Excalibur decides to throw in another interesting wrinkle, where he talks about how both these women come from differing dojos within the Japanese system, where Ryu Mizunami was trained in the very traditionalist system under Meiko Satomura, who is herself a wrestling legend in Japan. She had a run in WCW, believe it or not. Okay. And during that brief period of time when WCW cared about the women's division.
Dude, back when they had goddamn Bull Nakano, who was the coolest lady wrestler ever.
True. And then Meiko Satomura is actually currently the NXT UK Women's Champion, or was as of like a week ago. I guess I don't pay enough attention to UK to know if she's still the champ. But she's had a long run in WWE in NXT UK, is my point.
Holy shit, okay.
She's just hanging out over there.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then bringing up that Hikaru Shida is trained under Emi Sakura. This has been known. Excalibur's brought this kind of thing up before. Mm-hmm. But so this is some dojo fighting right here. This is two opposing dojos.
A plague of both your houses. Yeah, seriously. The rivalry just keeps getting deeper, keeps fucking burrowing. Also, Tony Schiavone says that he didn't expect this to be as high impact of a match. Why?
Why would you think?
Tony?
Why would you think
why
that,
would you
Tony?
think that? Why would you? Do you think your friend Dr. Britt Baker DMD is the only one who can hit people hard? Tony, because if you know a damn thing about Ryu Mizunami and a damn thing
Or
about
Hikaru Shida, yeah.
or Hikaru Shida, what you know is they like hitting people hard.
And that is basically a lot of this match, is a lot of really hard hitting, striking.
Yeah. Dude, I love me and my hard-hitting affairs. They make it so visceral, and it never gets old. Like,
the fighting spirit is quite strong.
And again, with how they've been portraying Ryu's development throughout this tournament, having her have one grand Hulk out finale is so dope.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
We get a fantastic exchange where they're holding linked arms together, and then they're just going back and forth, like they did in the segment, the prior episode of Dynamite. Just holding each other by the arm, just going bam, bam, bam.
Bam, bam, wha bam.
Yeah, so Ryu then hits the series of moves that she beat Nyla with, and then Shida kicks out of them.
Holy shit, yeah.
Good. That's a good way to show that Shida is on another level than Nyla Rose is.
True. Nyla's in the back seething, like, why can't I do that? Yeah, no. Shida is the best. Holy shit.
Yeah, Shida, she hits, she does the deal. She hits Ryu Mizunami with the Falcon Arrow, but incredibly, and I can't believe this is happening, Ryu Mizunami kicked out, and that's impossible because nobody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow.
No one kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. Talk about great scandals in wrestling. What kind of doping has Ryu Mizunami been doing that she's able to kick out of the Falcon Arrow? Someone needs to get to the bottom of this.
It is an impossible task, and I don't know how she did it.
It's roids. She's just roided out. Clearly, there's no other way to do it. Fucking get her, boys.
Yeah, she at one point does an eye poke into a roll up. It doesn't work, but I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, again, I learned last time we were here how powerful eye pokes apparently are in Joshi wrestling.
Hell yeah, man! Eye poke, you're done. You're done, man.
That's a finisher and a half right there. That's 150% finisher. To talk about dunning the deal, that you get that eye poke. I'm surprised Ryu got out of that one too. Yeah, no, it's one of those wild blink and you miss it moments of like, wait, what is she just? Now she's rolling her up. The hell? Yeah, no.
No, it was real boop.
Stuff.
Real quick.
The aggressive boop, if you will.
Yeah. They go back and forth. Eventually, Shida hits a corkscrew knee to the face, so it's basically like a spin into the knee. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, it was insane.
Hits Ryu with the knee, and she kind of exercises her demons as Shida finally beats Riho. She didn't need to wait 100 years. She only needed 10. She wins 1, 2, 3. And it's still your AEW for the Women's Champion.
And still AEW Women's Champion. I mean, I knew that this is how this ends up.
We both know that Britt Baker beats Shida for the title. We both knew how this was going to go, but it's a really good match. And there are a couple moments where I almost think that fuck it, we're about to have short title reign. Hikaru Shida, Ryu Mizunami, let's go.
Dude, again, with how dominant Ryu's been for this entire tournament, I almost thought for sure that we were getting fucking Ryu Mizunami on top. I thought there was a decent chance that there were a few spots I was like, wait, is this like a transitional championship that I don't know about?
No, sadly not.
Yeah, no, unfortunate.
But then after the match, Nyla Rose comes to whoop ass because she is not happy about this shit.
Yeah, she's really pissed that Shida's putting over pulling off the better kickouts and whatever than she could and sustain
very mad.
More shit.
Yeah, and Shida comes to the aid of Ryu Mizunami to avoid Ryu getting hit with the Beast Bomb, and this brings out Britt Baker and Maki Ito return.
Yeah,
they
and Rebel
back
and
out.
Reba
and Rebel as well. Rebel is also there to start beating down on the baby faces. And I made a note that that Britt Baker and Nyla Rose have a stare down with each other, but also in the background of that moment is Maki Ito biting Ryu's hand.
As always, the queen of the Simps knows how to steal the spotlight every time. You love to see it. Tony Khan's booking philosophy for the AEW women's division should be that no women exist outside of Maki Ito. If you had that, then I wouldn't have any qualms with it.
Whenever Maki Ito isn't on the screen, somebody should be saying, "Where is Maki Ito?
Where the fuck is Maki Ito? Where's Maki Ito?" And then she needs to kind of ring girl crawl up from under the ring and then start singing her pop song, and then everyone's like, "Oh, thank God."
And when you hear the pop song, 7 days later, you
die. Yeah, when you go to an AEW, when you go to any show that Maki Ito's on, you're signing your own goddamn death warrant. It's like fucking Paris song from Pokemon, right? Like everyone hears it, and then you're guaranteed to die a few days down the line.
And the only way to survive it is to share that song with somebody else. It's the only way to survive.
I wonder if performing it yourself would make that happen. Anyway,
back to the point. Thunder Rosa comes out to even the odds. TMC and
R. Here she comes to save the day.
And the heels decide that they're going to just leave now.
Yeah. As heels are wont to do, they fuck off TM.
Yeah, so that leads into the March 10th, 2021 episode of Dynamite, where we get a 6-woman tag team match between Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and Maki Ito versus Hikaru Shida, Thunder Rosa, and Ryu Mizunami. Whoa! Story threads progressing week to week. Who could have guessed it? Who could have ever seen that coming?
Witchcraft. Yeah.
And I have a couple of notes on this match. I think I'm a little bit whatever on it because we just saw the buy-in tag.
Yeah.
So and this feels like a lesser version of the buy-in tag. However, there is one thing I definitely need to bring up.
Yes.
So the heels come out and Maki Ito starts her song. And Hikaru Shida, Thunder Rosa, and Ryu Mizunami decide to gang rush the ring and just start fighting immediately.
Yep.
However, so the music cuts. However, Maki Ito stands there and keeps going through her routine. The brawl is happening in front of her. She don't give a fuck. She's hitting her song.
Finishing the damn song. Fuck it. We're doing it live. No. What a goddamn icon. I love the hell out of Maki Ito. Holy shit, dude.
Yep. Then
that is so
eventually when she's done, Shida comes over to try to fight her, and Maki Ito hits her with the live microphone. Now, a lot of people criticize this at the time because they're pretty weak looking hits. And I'll tell you why that is. And I'll tell you why that is because Maki Ito's microphone was live. So if she actually hit Shida with any sort of force, somebody's getting their ears blown out. And
worth it.
You might say to yourself, maybe if you can't do it safely, you shouldn't do it at all. I would argue in this case, fuck that. The visual of Maki Ito hitting Hikaru Shida with a live microphone was worth it.
They were weak fucking hits, and I was like, well, that's kind of lame. But it was a funny visual nonetheless. I love it when Maki Ito bonks people and sends them to horny jail.
Maki Ito's actually does on a regular basis.
Yeah, the warden. Look, when you're the queen of the simps, you gotta lay down the law. Okay, you can't have the simps simping too hard. They simp a little too hard. Little sit in the horny joint ain't gonna hurt no one. All right.
Yeah. So the match itself was fine.
It was. I just gotta have some random notes.
Yeah, it's very Thunder Rosa focused, which makes sense considering where this is headed goes from there. But otherwise, I just don't have a lot of interesting things to say because it's a lot of it feels like a lesser version of the tag match we had on the buy-in.
Pretty much.
I did note that Thunder Rosa, they do a bit in the corner where Thunder Rosa where Nyla Rose and Britt Baker each have their feet pushing into Thunder Rosa. Mm-hmm. And then after that's done, Maki Ito just kind of lightly taps, hits hits Thunder Rosa in the back as if to
Dude,
contribute.
the cinematography on that was great because like we're on the outside of the ring post and we're kind of centered on that, and we just see Britt and Nyla fucking up Thunder, and then we come around and then you just see Maki Ito there sitting in the corner, and she's like a little like excited kitten just goes bonk and sends Thunder Rosa on her merry way. I thought that was great. Also, something I really realized in this match is the Kokeshi has about the same success rate as the Falcon Arrow, which is to say 100%. That always
of course,
hits, obvious.
Nobody misses. Nobody dodges the Kokeshi.
And by that, I mean only Thunder Rosa ever seems to take Kokeshi bumps. Waka.
Yeah, Thunder Rosa also got hit with a Kokeshi. It's like,
damn, at least
she was the only one who was like, yeah, she can fall just right on my abs. It's fine.
It's totally fine. Let that horrendously hard head just fuck
her
up my abs.
Her notoriously hard head, Maki Ito.
True.
Just
no,
bam,
look.
land.
Thank God she finally developed a system for like catching herself before she falls. She's learning, lads. She's evolving. One day, Maki Ito will rule all. What else do we got? For as much as we love to give JR grief, shout out to him, like taking some time to really put over the Britt Rosa rivalry here. Like he's talking about like the bitter animosity that he senses between these two women. And we love to rag on him, but man, if that guy doesn't have some like just brilliant moments even today,
when JR is on, he knows how to be on.
Yeah,
and there's basically none better.
There's none, but JR's a goddamn legend for a fucking reason. Oh my god, I respect that man. Yeah. So that was cool. Nyla, we got to see Nyla doing the flare flop. Hallelujah. Yeah, that was
also
great.
known as the Greg Valentine flop. Nyla Rose, you know, I mean, you know how it works. Nyla Rose, she needs to, warm about 15 minutes to really get going.
Clearly, look, they don't end up winning, and that's because Nyla didn't get her 15 to warm up. She wasn't ready.
She was not. But eventually, it all kind of ends up with just Rosa versus Ito, which you should know how this went.
Yeah. Rosa does a tornado to the outside and takes down everybody, but she's on the hunt. She smells the blood in the water. She knows who the weak link is. She grabs Ito, throws him to the ring, fucks her up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, waka waka. Thunder Rosa for the win.
She intercepts the crutch from Rebel, who tries to interfere again, and it's like,
of course,
hints for later. But Thunder Rosa hits the Fire Thunder driver on Maki Ito for the 1, the 2, and the 3. But after the match, Britt Baker just immediately starts whooping Thunder Rosa's ass, and the heels and the other heels basically hold back the other baby faces to make sure the stomps can continue stomping out that ass.
Indeed. Britt is here to destroy Thunder Rosa, and oh boy!
And the whole time the announcers are like, "What is it gonna take to end this, to settle this once and for all?" And it's like, well, I can tell you how this is going to be settled.
Here she is,
as
boys.
We move on.
Here she is, world.
March 17th, 2021, episode of Dynamite, St. Patrick's Day Slam. It is in the main event of Dynamite, the first ever women's main event of Dynamite. Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker in a lights out match. Here is the gimmickry of a lights out match, as defined by AEW. Is they announce that the lights will go out. They essentially saying the show is over, legally, officially. They come back on, and what happens after that, AEW will not be held responsible for. It is a false count anywhere, no rules match.
Absolutely. One of the most iconic matches in AEW to date. The first women's main event on Dynamite. The first lights out match on Dynamite. It is Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. Lights out match. Holy shit, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a bloody war.
Shout out to us finding out that this is JR's first lights out match that he's witnessed since the 70s. I didn't
Well,
know they
I don't
had
know if
those
that's
back
what he
then.
said. I don't know if he said. I think he was saying that's the first one he ever called, not that he hasn't seen one since.
Okay, I thought he was saying he hasn't seen one since, and I was like, what the fuck?
No, he was saying his first one that he called was back in the 70s with Cowboy Bill Watts. I didn't catch the name of the other guy he meant.
I don't really know the other guy either. But yeah, JR having that having that long form. Holy shit, they were doing lights out matches in the 70s. That's so nuts. I didn't know those were a thing back then. Yeah, but we get going, and Britt's dominant from the start. She just starts
because it's
wailing
all
on
legal,
Rosa.
so the questionably injured Rebel can of course assist.
Help. Yeah, no. I really feel like Thunder should have brought some backup to the ring, but she is good and noble and virtuous TM.
Don't need it.
Fucking impractical to be. So yeah, she's built it. She's a natural. All right. Oh well, actually, you know what? That she trained under Dustin Rhodes. She is all natty, baby. She said that on artificial
funny
bullshit.
It's a joke because Dustin Rhodes is the natural.
Yes. Good. Thank you for outlining that. I very much.
The best jokes are the ones that get explained.
True.
That's what I say.
The BoJack Horseman school of joke telling, absolutely. That shit always lands. It lands.
Absolutely.
You know, Austin, that shit lands with the success rate of a goddamn Falcon Arrow. All right. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yes, so we cut to several times where Hikaru Shida is watching the match in the back, and she is almost watching that television like a normal human being, but which means she's not cheating out enough.
She needs to cheat out until she's just fully fucking facing the camera that's looking at her.
What you need to do, you're not watching wrestling TV right until you are facing the camera, except to turn your head 90 degrees to the side to look at the TV screen. That is the correct way to watch wrestling.
Yeah, and the TV screen, by the way, also needs to be flat out directly facing the camera, so you're just kind of like staring at the edge of it and catching like whatever distorted image you can from your vantage point.
Yes.
But between this and her watching the final match of the Eliminator tournament earlier, maybe she just likes watching wrestling from weird angles. I don't goddamn know. I'm not here to judge.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
So they fight around a lot, almost immediately. Thunder, Britt Baker hits slams Thunder Rosa into the rampway.
Yeah.
That is for the Daily's Place setup. They have the rampway basically like level with the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of matches during the pandemic era use that as a spot to do a thing.
No. She used her knee to drive Thunder's head into the rampway, and then we get a long breakaway.
She curb stomps Thunder Rosa's head into the steps, and suddenly we cut over to to Britt and Rebel setting up chairs and shit. And oh boy, we're back, and Thunder Rosa is a bleeding.
Yeah. What a shocker. It's almost like when we have those long cutaways for other shit. But yeah, no. Chairs aplenty. I don't know why this long-standing rivalry is filled with so many chairs.
Chairs are just a nice, easy weapon of choice.
I guess, yeah, but like when they have their match at St. Patty's Slam 2022, there was the goddamn chair mountain.
Hell yeah, man! Who doesn't love a good old fashioned chair mountain?
They use it, but I don't know.
A big old pile of chairs.
Oh god,
slammed in. Britt and Rebel set up a table, which would really spell their doom.
Yeah. Austin's
first law will be back to bite them. But Thunder gets back up and is now bleeding fully from the non-face paint side of her face. It was very clever the way they did this, is to basically have her only bleed out of one side of her face. So you get this contrasting visual of her white face paint, or mostly white face paint, and her bloody red other half.
Yeah, no. I mean, I talked about this when I saw my first ever blade job with Cody Rhodes in the cage match with
Mm-hmm.
Wardlow. Man, the ability for blood on the face to create some striking visuals, whether it's like bleeding into Cody's like bleach blonde hair or going down Thunder Rosa's unpainted face side. God damn, it's such a cool visual. It's so squicky, but it looks so cool.
Speaking of
The eternal
squicky and cool, we'll get there.
the eternal pain of being a wrestling fan, right?
Yeah, so she grabs a steel chair and starts going to town. I wrote Thunder hitting the allegedly injured Rebel with a chair, the Fiend.
I know. How could you do that to an injured woman? What the fuck? Very, very evil.
They brawl into the crowd, and like we see some of the wrestlers who are again the front row people in the Daly's place at this point in time. They're fighting out there. Eventually, they get back in the ring to the chair pile, and Britt Baker hits Thunder Rosa, suplexes her into the chairs.
Yeah. They're both hurting from that one. Is the wild thing too. They're both fucking writhing, clutching their backs, and Britt's like, I may have underestimated this.
So Thunder, I make note of how red Thunder's face is at this point. However, this is also kind of the peak. Thunder Rosa's cut, I don't know. It is basically Thunder Rosa is not cut in a way that she keeps bleeding. Like there's a lot of initial blood from her, and then it stops, and then it stops by the end of the match to where when she wins, you can basically not really tell she was ever bleeding. By the time she ends the match, she kind of sweats it all away. But then Rebel grabs a ladder, and I think a very underrated aspect of this match that I think helps keep the pace moving is you constantly have Rebel there to grab and set up weapons, so that neither person has to kind of break pace to go get them themselves. She can just go do that.
Absolutely. Rebel as the fucking like gopher of this match is like just a subtle little. I didn't even notice that, but now that you mention it, the Rebel as the match's gopher. Maybe more match should have like a little fucking like butler on the side. Grab that for you, Seth.
Oh yes, there you go.
That's of course quite. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think.
So Rosa obviously is able to fight off both of them to get this ladder. And she gets the ladder. She's got Britt Baker down in the corner. She sticks the ladder in the corner to trap Britt Baker. And then she drop kicks the ladder into Britt Baker's face.
Which is insane. I was like, that hurts from no matter how you slice it. Oh boy.
Yeah, and we then get a long shot away from Britt because now it's Britt's turn. And Britt was gushing.
Oh my god,
She cuts quick. And she is bleeding so fast you can see the blood coming down her face, bleeding down her face.
Oh my god. I don't know why.
She immediately gets a puddle of blood into the corner where she was sitting.
Yeah, no, that was insane to me. There's just spatters of blood all over that corner, and I'm like, what? Whoa! How? Is she fucking spurting as she cuts herself open? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, she was spurting a bit, and
Britt knew she was about to break some goddamn iconography. Let me tell you,
Britt Baker has got some ability to find a camera and have a really good shot. She has two of them that are super well known here. But we do eventually watch as she scrambles her way out of the corner up. We get the shot of her looking up.
That's on her contract.
Yeah, she after this match, she literally they made a T-shirt that is just Britt Baker's bloody face on it.
Yeah,
and this is the shot they took that from her looking upwards, blood coming down her face.
And now it's part of her her opening visuals is it has that image that is the image of Britt Baker. What's wild too is that moment is so blink and you miss it. I always assumed that was a long hold as she looks at the camera, but kind of like didn't realize that was it. And Austin goes, there it is. And I'm like, oh shit, Leo pointing me. But it was like kind of blink if you missed it. So it's wild. That's the one that got picked out. But yeah, it's a dope fucking look. Like you can see just the blood's like almost like a spider web coming down her face.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Her eyes are kind of glazed over.
I know, with red. Oh, that's always so wild when people get the red in their eyes. Oh my god. Oh
no,
boy.
she spends a lot of this match trying to wipe blood out of her eyes. That's the way. That's how this cut went for her. But eventually, they get to fighting on the top rope again, and Thunder Rosa hits a Death Valley driver to Britt Baker onto the ladder. Britt just landing full back onto that ladder.
Yeah, the way the ladder bent on that one, that looked really painful. Oh my god. Oh.
But Britt kicks out of it. They fight. Britt grabs a chair, curb stomps her Thunder Rosa face first into the chair. Thunder kicks out of it. Absolutely wild. Man. And it is at this point I wrote Britt with the smile of a serial killer, because this is the other iconic shot from this that got turned into a meme of it. This one holds onto the camera holds onto this shot a lot longer than the other one. But she just like looks up, the blood coming down her face, and she's just smiling all the way here.
Oh yeah.
All the way up.
And then the final wild fuckery
Rebel
of the match.
loses her mind about this. She's screaming. She's very excited. She grabs the bag of tacks.
Yes.
The thumbtacks have been brought.
Boys. Yeah, no.
Before we get any significant spots on the thumbtacks, Rebel tries to hop into the ring again. And this time, Thunder Rosa chucks Rebel through the table she set up earlier.
What a shock. What a shock. No way. But yeah, finally Rebel's disposed of. Holly goddamn Luya.
Basically dead.
First law of wrestling.
Yep. So Thunder Rosa, they fight over the tacks. It's a lot of trying to drop a suplex or slam each other into the tacks. Eventually, Thunder Rosa power bombs Britt Baker through the thumbtacks. Her back them tacks are in there. Like you basically don't fake thumbtack spots. It's a situation where like thumbtacks, like they hurt, but obviously you're not going to do any real long-term damage landing in thumbtacks. It's just going to hurt like a motherfucker.
Indeed.
And so that you basically don't fake those. You just kind of land it. You land in the thumbtacks and you take how that's going to feel. Whatever.
Pretty much.
And but there are thumbtacks all up and down Britt Baker's back.
Holy shit. Oh yeah.
But Britt Baker kicks out of it, pinned in the thumbtacks. Britt Baker locks in Thunder Rosa in the lockjaw, and Thunder Rosa gets out of it by rolling herself and Britt back into the pit of tacks.
Yeah.
And forces Britt to let go.
Britt and Thunder are both putting themselves in the tacks to put the other one even more in the tacks. Holy shit, that's like that. It makes you look so goddamn hardcore when you do that in ring. Oh god.
And so eventually they fight out to the apron. There's another table that had been set up here. Thunder Rosa is able to get Britt Baker up for the Fire Thunder driver, puts her through a table. 1, 2, 3 as they're both crumbled to the outside. Rosa wins the match, and as one lights out.
And I'm sure they'll never have any problems with each other ever again.
Nope. Truly settled forever.
Indeed. Oh my god. Yep. What a dope way to end this.
Fantastic match. Looking at this storyline again, I forgot how little build-up there really was for the lights out. Like, they have beef with each other for a long time, obviously, but
commentators really got to do some legwork to really make it.
They do. And they literally, it's just announced during Dynamite on March the 10th. They're like, and next week, we're going to have a lights out match.
Not even a promo for it? God fucking damn it.
Nah, it's just part of Excalibur's rundown of the week.
Part of Excalibur's Sanic Fast rundown. And next week, we're going to have a lights out match.
Yep. So absolutely. I feel like that's the best transition to talk about overall thoughts here. And we kind of hinted at the beginning of this back half here, but basically, man, this women's tournament did a lot to showcase the best and the worst of AEW's women's booking all in one, because the matches were consistently incredible. A lot of talented women were involved in this tournament, but they were basically given no time on Dynamite, in both the fact that like 80% of the tournament matches were on YouTube, and there were no promos from anybody ever to really help sell anything about this tournament. It was just
I know
a thing
so
that happened.
We got the Ryu Shida video package. That was so
I wish
dope.
we had more of that.
God,
And even as something as basic as that first promo Thunder Rosa had, where she's like, I got 3 goals. I'm going to win the AEW women's title. I'm going to win the NWA title, and I'm going to kick Britt Baker's ass.
True.
More of that could have been, even more of that, even if it's only 10, 15 seconds.
What helps build up to that goddamn lights. The lights out matches, dope as hell. However, goddamn, it could have done with some more build up.
If I'm not usually one to get deep enough into literary analysis to say something is unearned or unearned, but arguably the lights out match feels unearned because
not quite earned.
There's not quite earned because they don't put a lot of focus into it besides when it happens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And that is arguably the problem. Not enough focus. As I don't want to get into a big spiel about my thoughts on the AEW women's division and how to book it better. I don't want to go on a full tangent about this. But looking at it now, basically a year and some change since all this. It has improved in some ways, and in some ways it is exactly the same.
Yeah.
And people point, and I think people point to a lot of different things they think AEW women's division does bad. And I think ultimately the net problem is time. If you gave the women more time, pretty much every single problem that people have with the women's division would be at least lessened because there would be other stuff going on.
Shocking.
AEW too easily pigeonholes themselves into one women's match a show and a couple of women's promos.
I don't know why.
So when you have things like when Britt Baker gets a little too stale and otherwise not enough women, or when you want to do matches with women who are less experienced, like when you want to get matches for people like Jade Cargill or Anna Jay or whoever, really, Sky Blue, I can just name names. When you're only doing one women's match a show, that means like the one women's match will be kind of iffy.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like this tournament is proof that, and I think the TBS title tournament that they would do later in 2021 to crown the first TBS women's champion is proof that if you gave the division time, it could be really, really good.
It would be
and
a
right now
in the industry.
For reasons I could only speculate on, Tony Khan doesn't want to give them that time. And it makes the whole division much weaker than it has to be.
Yeah. I mean, you said it perfectly. I can't really add anything to that. I'm just confused. I remain confused to this day as to why they pigeonhole themselves like this. It doesn't make any goddamn sense from any perspective. Tony Khan listens to Twitter, except for on like this one goddamn thing. He refuses. He's obstinate as fuck on. And I can never understand why, because they have some of the best workers in the industry today and some of the most promising up-and-coming talents, and they do sometimes fuck all with them, and it's frustrating, and it's like the big kryptonite flaw of what is currently my favorite wrestling company, and it sucks every time you're reminded of just how limited that division is.
I hate that, like, we somehow ended one of our shittier arcs on a positive note, and now we end one of our arcs that we both liked a lot on a negative note. But you know, it's a hard to avoid that negative takeaway, like as a thing I watch weekly. and I see the problems inherent to this, how this division is booked from just even a really good tournament.
Absolutely. But nonetheless,
enough of that. It's been a lot of fun actually covering AEW. You know, we're a retrospective podcast. We don't talk about AEW that often around here.
No.
And I'll be honest, because of the way Fight TV works now, I don't know when or how much we'll be talking about them in the future until they get a streaming service of some kind that is easily accessible. But for now, that's the end of that. And for what will be replacing this arc in our little schedule?
Yes, I'm wondering.
So I've thought long and hard about this, and I've decided to just kind of go with it. Is that I make no bones about it that I came into wrestling in 2012, and as such, I have a real nostalgia and love for that era of wrestling when a lot of people didn't. And we're going to put that nostalgia to the test.
Oh boy.
One of those storylines that has the potential to age very, very badly.
Oh no.
Going forward, for the next couple of months, when we get to this section of our schedule, we will be covering the love square that was AJ Lee, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and Kane.
Wait, this isn't the one with John Cena. Wait, there's another one? Oh no.
AJ had so many romance angles in 2012.
Oh boy.
As CM Punk put it at the time, he digs crazy chicks.
Well, he did end up marrying her, so guess that.
But he had that. And to think, this is how they spent 3 months of the WWE fighting over the WWE Championship, but also more importantly, AJ Lee.
The ability to bone AJ Lee, I guess. Oh boy! All right, fine.
But
great.
That is
Love
for in the future. Next time, it is time to return to EC fucking W.
Yeah, baby.
As we need to the fallout of the Sandman getting his goddamn eye burned out.
Wild shit. We get more extreme.
Where we're getting real extreme and real. But that is for next time. Until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. All right, friends, thank you so much for once again joining us on the Noobs and Knockouts podcast. We are so glad you had a great time here. Returning listeners, viewers, what have you, you know the drill. Thanks again for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, whatever it is you use to consume our content. We hope you have a great time here. Just please keep coming back, having a great time. You know how it is. First-time listener, viewers, what have you, hi, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you've had a great time here. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you're brand new to the wild, wacky world of wrestling, or this is like your first, or you're a longtime veteran of this whole thing, either way, we hope you're having a great time here. We hope you want to keep having a great time with us. If you want to keep having a great time with us and you're not entirely sure how to do so, not to worry, my friends, I have you covered. First of all, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, make sure it turns a nice little solid code so you get notifications every single time we drop a brand new episode. All that good stuff. Check out our playlist. Give us that sweet engagement. Austin has been kind enough to organize all the arcs and eras and stuff that we follow into their own separate playlists. So if there's something you want to follow all the way down with that without having to do a whole lot of skipping, you can check those out. It's all nice and wonderful and organized. And on more recent episodes, you can see our beautiful faces, our lovely HUD and everything, and all the little visual gags we hide in there for the people who deign to do more than just listen with their eardrums. It's a great time. But for those who are sticklers for the audio-only experience, we got you covered too. You can find us on 3 of the best places to find your podcast, which is Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Come check us out there. Listen to us, rate us, review us, download us, all that sweet engagement that tells the algorithm and tells other people that these dudes are pretty cool, and more people should probably be checking them out. I don't know, I'm just saying. Past that, of course, is the ways you can get in kind of direct contact with us. Mainly, of course, our social media, our Twitter. You can find us at Noobs and Knockspod at twitter.com. That's Noobs, the word, or that's at Noobs, the letter N, Knockspod at gmail.com. Come check us out there. We have a good time on the Twitter. Memes, discourse, all that good stuff. We post every single time we drop a brand new episode, so you guys know what the hell's going on. And of course, the highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting. My friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Yes, as coming up as usual every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS is AEW Dynamite.
Mike.
If you like in this arc, well, guess what? You can watch AEW every week with us every week. And so as well as that, we cover AEW, WWE, and Impact Wrestling pay-per-views. Upcoming on June 26th, right around the corner, is AEW X NJPW Forbidden Door.
Yes.
Featuring Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, the Ace, for the interim AEW World Championship in light of CM Punk's injury. A four-way match for the inaugural AEW All-Atlantic Championship between Pac, Miro, either Malachi Black or Penta Oscuro. And I'm going to be honest, it's going to be Tomohiro Ishii. There's some match. NJPW is going to have some matches to determine who they're sending, but it's going to be Ishii.
And let's also be honest, it's going to be Malachi Black.
Yeah. And then Le Sex Gods, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki in a six-man tag against Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Jon Moxley's own personal protege, Shota Umino. For the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, it is two very different dudes. It is Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm, two former Stardom champions fighting each other for the AEW Women's Championship. FTR versus the United Empire in a winner-take-all match for the Ring of Honor World titles and in New Japan's own IWGP tag team titles. Holy fuck. And then we're going to have the best friends, Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, versus the United Empire's Aussie Open. It's going to be insane. Then for WWE on July 2nd is Money in the Bank. Hey, we've talked about that plenty on this show.
MITB.
Climb the briefcase, climb the ladder, get the briefcase. And
no, I think it is climb the briefcase, get the ladder.
You're right. Climb the ladder, get the briefcase, and you you get a world title shot whenever you want. We're gonna have Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. Obviously, the men and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. Ronda Rousey versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's title. Sure, I guess that's happening.
Okay.
And the Usos versus the Street Profits for the WWE Tag Team titles. All righty then.
Sure.
And then upcoming for Impact Wrestling is Bound for Glory. One of their big pay-per-views of the year. That's coming up in like October. They haven't even officially announced that yet, but it is the thing they do after Slammiversary that is happening, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Check
all that out. Check all that out. It's a great time on Twitter. If you like listening to us ramble here, you'll enjoy the Twitter. Our personalities shine through. Austin's so smart and I'm so memey. It's a great time. Come check out the Twitter at Noobs and Knockspod at Gmail, or just at Noobs and Knockspod on Twitter. Then, of course, to get in super direct contact with us is, in fact, our Gmail account. You can find us on Gmail, noobsandknockoutspod at gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and this time, knockoutspod at gmail.com. Come say hi to us there. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like, things you want to see more of, less of, requests for any sort of wrestling-related media you want us to check out. Tell us that our hot takes are super awesome or super dumb. Whatever it is, we just like saying hi, people. Come say hi to us. We would love to say hi back. Noobs and knockoutspod at gmail.com. And finally, there is our Patreon. We're also the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. $1 a month gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode. Shout out to our $1 patron, Kyle Smith, the Sugar Daddy, for supporting us. Thank you so much for your support, buddy. Enjoy your perks. If you want to get on those perks with Kyle, Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon, you can find the link in our Twitter. It's a great time. Thanks a bunch.
Yep. See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.